Hello and thanks for joining me. My name is Sharon and this is part 2 of my deck collection, Animal Decks. So the first tarot we're going to look at is the Oak, Ash, and Thorn. And by 3 trees, comes in a tuck box. It's a chunkier deck. We've all seen this. The first oracle I have that goes with it is the Seasons of the Witch Mabon. The Lomas also does, but I'm not going to show 2 Seasons of the Witch decks. I'm just thrilled that I hadn't really gone through my animal decks to see what pairs with them well. I'm so excited that the Seasons of the Witch pair nicely with them. One more, just because I like it. Okay. And then another one I have that I think pairs really nicely with it is the Phases and Forests. And if you watch part 1, you've seen this already a lot. And I just think this is especially good with the Oak, Ash, and Thorn. Kind of feel like they were made for each other. And then we have the Hare's Odyssey, which also was in the previous video. Show the box anyway, just in case. That's it. And this one's just for fun, because I like to have something that's a fun option. And it's not a perfect match, but it works. Oh, look at all that pink. It really pulls that pink out, doesn't it? Okay. And then because it wouldn't be complete without using Thistledown, after all they are by the same creators, and I don't know that I would necessarily use these together just because there's a lot of animal energy. I kind of like to balance it out. But at least the Oak, Ash, and Thorn has the borders, so they don't kind of blend together. I guess that would be my main concern, is that without borders and the artwork being so similar. Okay, and I only have one tarot, the Wildwood, that I think pairs with it decently. And I like this. I've only just recently really started exploring pairing tarot with tarot. Look at the crows. This is a nice one. I think it works. The color of the sky blends. Yeah, that's a nice one. Okay, and this is the Heartwood tarot. I had to move my cloth because the images were blending in with that spread cloth I had. So let's try it first with a Seasons of the Witch deck. The Seasons of the Witch Milk. And the Heartwood is a lot cooler. There's a lot more blues and grays in it. Not as many warm colors. I felt like it really goes with the emerald nicely. Yes. Yeah, I'm glad I got all the seasons. I didn't get all of the Seasons of the Witch. I'm glad for all the ones I got. I kind of felt like maybe I was going overboard, but now that I see how well they go with my animal tarot decks, I am very excited. Yeah, nice. Okay. And the next one I want to try is the Liminality. This is one that's in English and in French. And yes, I like this too. Oh, look at that. Yes, this works really, really well with this. Yeah. They just have the same color scheme. Very nice. Okay. And then we're going to try the Secrets of Wandwood for a fun option. And seeing how well these Wandwood and the Hare's Odyssey and all go with the animal decks, I might have to get their I think it's Magical Cottage is the most recent one. Yeah, I like this too. This is fun. Okay, and then of course we're going to have to look at Thistledown with it. And I think we will see here what I meant by without the borders, they just sort of blend together because it's the same artist, very similar artwork. I mean, of course they go well together. I just find it's a little too blendy. But it is very nice. And then we have a couple tarot. Actually, just one tarot. It's the Echoes Through Time. And my thought process here is that the Heartwood, the animals are occupying abandoned human spaces. And Echoes Through Time is perhaps the people occupying those spaces previously. Or they could be occupying the same space and time simultaneously in some rundown spaces right alongside where these people live. And the colors I felt really went well together. I think these go nicely. Yeah, I like these two together. I think these will be nice in a reading together. One we're going to start with is the Goliath, and I made this little box for it because it's in a big box and I don't want to store things in big boxes. We are going to look at some pairings for this. Goliath is one of my favorite animal decks. I just think it's a really, really powerful deck. It's kind of like the Marielle of animal decks. So one of the pairings I want to do is the Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle. I found that the Seasons of the Witch decks really pair well with a lot of my animal decks. Because I like to bring in different energy. I don't generally like to do animal with animal. Kind of like to combine energy. I really like this pairing a lot. That brings in a little bit of color, but not too much. So then, and then for a little flower energy, we have Flowers of the Night. Which I also really like, just the little pops of color it has. And even though it has animals too, the focus I think is really on the flowers. I like this. Yeah. And we have the Wild Unknown Archetypes. And I feel like these deliver a really powerful message together. And visually, I think they're really nice together. I'm going to have a few pairings. This is the Pythonic. It's very witchy. I think it meets it at the same energy. And it provides that pop of color too. Yeah, and I feel like these, the people in this Pythonic could be inhabiting the same space that Goliath does, doing their rituals. I like them together. And one of my most unexpected and happily surprising pairings is Little Bonko. I think that they're both so fearless that they really go together well. And then there's just the aesthetics of it, which I really, really like. And it seems like the people in the tarot and the Bonko could be occupying this space. The Bonko is one of my favorite decks. I've just had a hard time coming up with pairings that I really like with it. It's a very particular deck. It doesn't want to play well with everybody. I just really like this pairing a lot. And then my last tarot pairing is the Intuitive Night Goddess, which I also really like with this. I think because there's a lot of glow in the Goliath, and there's also a lot of glow in the Intuitive Night Goddess. Yeah, I like this pairing also. Yeah, one last one. Okay, so now we have a couple ocean themed decks. First one obviously is Healing Waves. Those are the backs. I don't know if you can still get the French edition of this or not. I thought about doing it just as a backup, but then it was quite expensive because it was coming from Thailand, maybe, I think, and it was a lot. So anyway, cardstock on this is a very light rose petal, very flexy. It can be riffle shuffled. And I only have 2 decks that go with this. So the first one is an Oracle, Sisters of the Sea. It's big. Did I make enough space? Almost. So mermaids, of course. I love mermaids. There's a few cards with people in this deck. I like these. I think these go really well together. If you have Healing Waves and have any pairings, or if you just have an idea of a pairing that would work, let me know. Because like I said, I only have 1 Oracle and 1 Tarot in my collection that I think pair nicely with this. Ooh, look at those colors are nice together. Yes, I think this is a nice oceanic pairing. Yeah, those colors. I think everything about this goes well nicely. And then the tarot pairing is the Decolonized Tarot, which I have not seen anybody post about. There was some issues. It was a Kickstarter, and there were some issues because the creators had different kinds of personal and health issues. And so it took a long time. And I got the deck before I got the larger guidebook. And this is going to be shown in a different collection, but it goes here. So anyway, they're Filipinas, and so it has a very islandy theme because it's based on Filipino stories. And so I think it goes really nicely thematically with, with the Healing Waves. And it's, kind of a storybook, comic, cartoony art style, which I feel is very complimentary. So yeah, I like these 2 together. Look at all that. Yes, very nice. Mermaid. And then the other one is the Ocean Tarot. This is by Taylor Holdquist Todd. She has several animal themed decks out, and it comes with this little white book. Font's kind of small. It's a nice little white book. So we have 2 oracles and 1 tarot. First oracle is the Seashell Oracle, which I think goes quite nicely with this. I don't have anything that I think goes perfectly with it, but it's good enough for my purposes now. Again, if you have any suggestions for an oracle pairing, I am open to suggestions. This one especially, I feel like this art style is going to be harder to find something I feel like is aesthetically pleasing. Oh, I didn't show the backs. That's the back. And the cardstock is a little stiffer. And it is gilded. So let's have a look at the other oracle. Okay, the other oracle is Coastal Curiosities, and thematically it's in the right lane, but I feel like the art style, not exactly what I'm looking for. But it works. Don't hate it. I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure out. The colors though are nice there. I have to figure out what it is I'm looking for in a pairing for this deck. The purples and stuff. I don't know, I'm curious what it looks like when I'm editing this video. Maybe I'll like it better. That works, yeah. This works. And then the tarot, which I do use with it in readings, is this, the Wisdom of the Depths, which has a PDF guidebook, has a little pamphlet with, you know, just very simple. But I do use this as kind of an as above, so below reading. 3 cards from Wisdom of the Depths and 3 cards from, excuse me, got a little cold. 3 cards from the Ocean Tarot. And I think these, if I could find an oracle that looks like Wisdom of the Depths, I think it would be perfect, because I feel like these two go together really well. So maybe an ocean-y themed collage oracle like this. Don't know, does one exist? Because this I really, really like. Maybe I need to make my own. I think this works really well. Okay, so that was the, and this is the Divine Canine Tarot, which I think you can get on one of the print on demand, maybe make playing cards. I got it somewhere else previously, and it came with it in this 2-part box and had a separate guidebook, which I don't know if you can get this now or not. Maybe this is print on demand also. Visit the cosmiccornersavannah.com to download the companion book PDF. So I don't know if you want to get this and you need the PDF, either it's on their website or maybe they know how to provide it. In any case, it is edged in silver, and it is on a thicker, stiffer cardstock, but has a lot of bounce back, and those are the backs. And it is canines, not just like real ones, but also there's kitsune in here, and I'm not sure what other mythical canines there are. I have 1 oracle and 1 tarot that pair with this, but I think that each of them pairs with it so well that I'm fine with this one. So this is the Soul Trees, the original. And I think the color palette works really well. And see, look at all that green. These keywords are good. And the thing I like about the original Soul Trees is it has more negative keywords and imagery, this darker kind of, which goes really well with this deck, I feel like. I feel like green. So the 3 of coins, like those guys are something. So let's see. In Japanese folklore, it's Zenko, or good foxes. So if you want this deck, I think it's really behooves you to try and track down this guidebook. Because otherwise, you wouldn't know that unless you knew that. But I really like this oracle with this deck. somehow I just feel like these keywords too are initiative with the Fool. These keywords just go really well for some reason with the energy of the Divine Canine. King of Cups with compassion. See, I like it. Anyway, and then we have one tarot, which may come as a surprise, but you should be expected for surprises from me by now. And it is the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. It does not say that anywhere in this, does it? There we go. And they have just opened up pre-orders for the new editions of the regular and the Infinity, one with the mirrored backs. But look at those colors together. And I like that this brings in the human energy. Wow. I just think this is a stunning pairing. Yeah, I could look at this for the better part of a day. Oh yes, I think I'm going to stop there because that's nice. So another canine deck, and it is the Barkana Dog-themed Tarot. And if I remember correctly, yeah, every card features a real dog. If I remember correctly, this was, some of the money was donated for service animals, and I'm not sure where all the real dogs came from. It's out of print now. These are the adorable backs. This deck is very special to me because I got this in memory of my dog who had passed, and was and still is a deck I used to talk with him. So this is his deck. This is Pippin's deck. And I have no other tarot that I pair with this. This does not want to pair with other tarot, which is fine. I have three oracles that I like with this. The first one is the Veleda. Then we have Memory there. And I like the colors together, but more than anything, kind of like the readings I do with this deck, I feel like these keywords are particularly good for that. But look at that pink. But I think they go so well together. And all that purple. It just feels very, very good with this deck. Yeah. So that was Veleda. Then we have, again, Soul Trees again, because of the kind of pastel color palette, and the keywords seem healing. There you go. The keywords again feel like they work. Yeah, I get teary-eyed when I get this deck out. That's nice. And then the last one is, this one is kind of fun, but also works for me in the kind of readings I do with this deck. So it's the Hare's Odyssey. And you've seen this one if you've been watching my animal decks so far, because it's shown up more than once. Look how cute that is. Yes, it also works. It delivers the message in a cuter way. And I like it. I feel like all these doggies could be living here. Oh, look at all that pink and purple. So yeah, I'm going to stop there then because that looks perfect. Okay, so now we're on to cats. And this is Grimalkin's Curious Cats. This is the indie version. I know it's mass market now. The interesting story about how I came about getting this deck was that MJ Canine had posted on, I think on Instagram, that they had a bunch of decks that were already wrapped up to ship, and she didn't know what was in them. And so you could pay, I think it was like $15 and get a surprise deck. And I have a couple of theirs already, but I decided to go for it. So, you know, if I already had it, then I could either use it as a backup or pass it on. And I got this. So I have 2 oracles. The first one's the Seasons of the Witch, Lammas. And I like it with a witchy deck because cats and witches. And also I just feel like these are very complementary to one another. Slippery cards are going to want to move all over, but we'll be okay with that. Yes, I like the way these work together. And I do use my cat and dog decks for animal communication. Even for my live animals. I just think these are really, really nice together. Yes, I like this so much. Sunburst and the Queen of Cups with the sun there. Very nice. And I wasn't sure how I'd like this cat deck, but I like it a lot. So then the other one is the Language of Flowers. So as you can see here, there's a lot of flowers in this deck. So I feel like this is very complimentary. And again, the color palette, I feel like really, that's nice. Really works well with it. Yeah, nice. Yes, I like this too. In fact, I would not mind using, very nice, both of these oracles at the same time with this deck. Ooh, yes, I feel like stopping there is a good spot. That looks nice. And the tarot is The Unfinished Business by MJ Canine also. And I know I rarely like to pair together decks by the same creator because they feel too similar. But one, because Unfinished Business is humans, ghosts. And 2, I think the style is different enough that I like them together. And if I were doing a reading with an animal that had passed on, I kind of feel like this, ooh, that looks nice. This Unfinished Business brings in that moved on element. Maybe these Maybe these are ghostly cats in this reading, and they were companions of these ghostly humans. Yeah, these are, yes, I like this. Yes. Okay. Okay, so we have another cat deck, Soul Cats. Those are the backs. I edged mine in kind of a metallic blue to match the blue on the back there. I like the way that came out. Anyway, I have 2 oracles that can pair with this and no tarot, because cats do not like to play nice with tarot. And the first oracle is Seasons of the Witch Imulk. I really like these together. As I'm going through this exercise of finding the pairings, I am more and more happy that I got the Seasons of the Witch decks. And cats and witches, right? They seem right at home together with this deck. Yeah, I like this pairing. This is a cozy pairing. I was just watching someone's video of their cozy decks. And stop. This feels very cozy to me. Yeah, I like this. And then the other one is the Vintage Wisdom Oracle. Might seem weird. Don't know. Let's see, there we go. Again, it kind of just got a cozy vibe to me. And it brings in the human energy, which I struggle with animal decks that don't have some kind of human energy also. Ooh, I like all that together. The colors feel very complementary. Yes. I also like this pairing very much. And these cats are just stinkers and they don't want to play with other tarot. They just want to play with they just want to play with Oracle. And this next deck, Multi-Stabber Tarot. So this, I've never seen anyone show before. I found it on Etsy. And this is the guidebook. I'm going to show you this entry right here. You can pause and read it if you want to. So what happened was, this was a tattoo artist and she died while creating this deck, and it was unfinished, and then a group of friends came together to finish it so that it could be published, and the funds were raised for the family because she left behind a husband and at least one child. I can't remember. So it is sort of collaborative in that some of the cards were finished by other people. And so you can see here it says who the cards were created by. So if we get back here where someone finished it off based on Mo's notes of what she wanted in it. And so I think it's very cool. And it feels, while some of the art feels a lot different to me, it still works. First oracle is the Valeda Oracle again. And I really like this one with it. Those are the backs. I don't know if I've shown them. I like this. It's too bad that the person passed away. It's also too bad that it didn't get finished by that very same person. Oh, and these are the backs of the tarot. Yes, I like these together. Okay. And then we also have the soul trees. Might like the Valletta a little bit better than this. But this does work. Yes, you can see where this art style is, but on both of these cards is different than, let's say that. Okay. Okay, and then I have two tarot that I like with it. So the first one is the Aquarius Tarot, which I did a recent unboxing of. Just feels, I don't know, it's not tattoo art, but it feels funky enough. And the colors feel just right. I don't know, the energy just feels right to me. But the one that I think is the standout winner is also by a tattoo artist. See if you guessed right, if you tried to guess. It's the Sawyer's Path. So we have human tattoo art and animal tattoo art. And I think they're great together. Yeah, I like that. I think those work. Yes. And I did not mention, the cardstock on this is really nice. I edged mine in black. I don't think it came edged. It's got a core in it. It's flexy, but it's not stiff and not too thick. It's regular tarot size. Shuffles very nicely. Okay, so now we have the Wild Messengers, and this is an out of print deck. And this one, well, technically a tarot, I don't use specifically as tarot, and I will show you what I mean. I'll show you the cardstock first. Shuffles nicely. Got out of control because I've got the tripod in front of me. Those are the backs. They're very cool. They've got like they almost feel like snakeskin or something. But I use this more as an oracle. So I'm gonna, instead of showing this with something in between, I'm gonna show this in the middle. So I have 3 tarot here that I feel like are good companions to this and a good example of what I'm talking about. So this one is the Starlight Tarot by Carol Herzer, and it didn't have labels on it, so I used a gold gel pen and put them on the bottom there, if you can see that. So this is the 10 of fire or wands. And then we have the guidebook. So this is the guidebook. So if we look at 10 of wands, yes. So we get 2 pages and we have like this, we have the name of the animal in it. Then we have like a message from them. And then it talks about the meaning of the card and its message for you. It's very different, almost always, than or any other tarot deck's meaning of any of the tarot cards. So it's more, I use it more as a message from animal spirit because it's a lot. If I was going to do any kind of a spread and then use that book for each card, that would be a lot. So we have the 10 of wands. We know what the 10 of wands is. Does this image speak to that? Not really. Chariot. Journey, that's not a word I use for chariot. But there is a horse there and there's a horse there. So you see how what I'm saying? I hope I'm making some kind of sense. It's a Taurical, more oracle than tarot. It is a very nice deck, and I like the, so see, this is the Hermit, so retreat. I guess I can kind of see that, but talking a lot. I hope I'm making sense. So let's try another tarot with it. I just wanted to show a few, just so you get an idea. So this is the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum Infinity Edition. But they look so nice together, I think. And then the courts are renamed. So teacher is, I think, the Queens. The 5 of water. Yeah, I just think they look really nice together. And it brings in that extra component of an animal message, which I like. Look at all that. And then you can also go with, the colors. The color story is always important to me. So then we have one more, the Mass Market Lumina Tarot. The backs. Sorry, my heater came on. And it has 2 extra cards in it, which I leave in because, like I said, I use this more but as an oracle anyway. So that, this is a nice deck for, ooh, look at all that purple and everything, and mastered. I don't know, something really feels messagey there. Doing a year ahead or a month ahead or something to get a message from your animal spirit for that time period. So this is the Master of Earth, so I think that's the king. And bunny for the queen kind of makes sense. So there you go. I feel like I talked a lot through that one. So someone did ask me about my binders and wanted to see them, and I feel like I showed them once a long time ago, but I want to go over it again for them. So I have one for my oracles and one for my tarot. I just covered them, the ugly binders, with book covers from some books that I had gotten at the secondhand store that I use for my collage. So this is my tarot, and it's very low tech. Here's decks that I'm waiting on coming in. I need those binder ring things. And then I have a table of contents, just very, it's written in pencil. And when I sell one or give one away, I cross it out. I didn't start keeping track of the years I got things until, I think, 2022. So a lot of them don't have dates on them when I got them. And then I have it sort of divided up by the kind of tarot. So these are all RWS, not clones, but RWS based decks through here. And no particular order, kind of keep like things together if I can a little bit, if they feel visually similar or in some way, maybe. And I also, you always use the same 5 cards now, rather than the cognitive load of trying to figure out, like, what cards am I going to use? Always just use the same 5 cards you see here, unless it's too big and then there's only 4 cards, or sometimes only 3. And then I can use this, I get out an oracle deck or another tarot deck, and I can just go through and hold the cards up to the pages and see what I kind of feel like goes together, and then get the decks out and see how they really go together. And I just have a copier that I just put them in, scan them, print them out. And then after the basically RWS based, and then I have kind of my Halloween-y decks here, and then some yokai. And I usually will, if I let go of a deck, I'll take the page out, and if I have to reprint the cards on the other side, I will. Otherwise, the binder's going to be too big with pictures of decks I don't have anymore. And then I have animal decks. So I try to keep animal, nature / landscape together in this section. And then the section for my kind of Marseille-based ones. And then a section for Thoth, and anything else that's kind of its own beast goes here. So that's the tarot one, and the oracle one is pretty much the same, other than there's not as many and it's not as organized because there isn't as many. But as you can see, just have the decks in here. I can hold tarot up to it, decide what I think goes with what. And I don't lose track of stuff. I don't forget that I have something because it's somewhere that I don't see it often, which is a big plus for having this. Sometimes I'll look in here when I'm trying to find a pairing and I'll be like, oh, I never used that deck. I totally kind of forgot I had that. So those are my binders. If you have any questions or comments on that, please feel free to share. Okay, so that concludes part 2 of my animal decks. There will be at least one more part with my adorable and anthropomorphic ones. So I have to get to that, but I'm kind of waiting on at least one deck to arrive before I do that because I'd like to include it. So that might come after I do some other collections. So thanks for watching. Take care of yourself and have a nice day. Bye.